Okay, here we are in another one. We left off talking about wool sweaters slash jumpers as your mid layer over the top of your wool mesh underwear, right? That's where we left off. Okay, so and then if you're just kicking around your property, you're gonna want yourself a nice wool coat. So you can pick any of these. Pick any of these wool coats, right? Mackinaw wool, vintage Woolrich, vintage Filson. I've got double on there, okay? Because if you're gonna get it, you might as well go whole hog, right? And then Stormy Cromer's modern. They have a double Mackinaw. I cannot vouch for the Filson or the Stormy Cromer because I have never owned them, okay? But I know that the modern Filson and the Stormy Cromer, they are thinner Mackinaw wool, in my opinion. So now my vintage Woolrich Mackinaw Timber Cruiser coat, that's super heavy wool. I don't even know. It's at least 32 ounce. Could be 40 because I know that they used to make them super thick, you know, back in the day. But anyway, some traffic out there out on the main road I'm looking at. Pick you one. Okay, go with that for around the house, hunting, fishing, camping, whatnot, right? You could even use it for expedition wear because basically guys that were timber cruisers, that was an expedition. You know, they were out there for weeks, maybe even months, doing stuff out in the cold weather, right? Now, of course, in our modern times, anoraks are very popular. They're very popular, and anoraks are from a long time ago. You know, that's not a modern invention. They've been around a long time. You know, with the Inuits and so on, and now of course we've got modern versions. You used to have old school that were made out of polar bear fur and caribou and whatnot, right? Those furs with the Inuit and caribou and reindeer are basically the same animal, okay? But if you want to get into all the little specifics, you know, and get nerdy about it, you can. You can just go research all the little specifics. Slightly different, but they're in the same family. Reindeer and caribou. So caribou is generally considered for North America, up in the north, and then reindeer is over in, you know, like Finland and Norway and Sweden, up in the north, up in there, and then of course Mongolia and Siberia and whatnot, right? That's all reindeer. Now, we talk about modern anoraks. I got a few here. Okay, I got 5 different ones. I know there's going to be more, but I'm just trying to cover a couple that I have and some alternatives for you. All right, some alternatives. So I got 2 brands I have here, and I got 3 alternatives. So this Miklagard, I've got one of theirs. I've got the hunting anorak. I like it. It's 25 ounce wool material. It has a lined hood area, which, as I said in the other video, I wish that lining, it's a quilted lining, I wish that were in the whole anorak. You know, of course you can always wish for things, you know, but that doesn't mean it's going to materialize. And then I have some Boreal Mountain made in Canada I've got 3 of those. I discussed those in another video, and the reasons why I got them, whatnot. But one of the real reasons I got the Boreal Mountain first. One of the real reasons I got the Boreal Mountain is because you can look at the size and order it off the shelf, basically, right? It's an off-the-shelf sizing system thing. So you say, oh, okay, well, here's a size chart, and that's what I want, and buy it, right? And then they make it, and you get it, right? So that is the actual reason why I went with Boreal Mountain over Empire Wool, because Empire Wool is like a song and dance. You know, the guy, he's a super talented guy. He's an American guy, lives in Minnesota, but he wants you to send you your wool blankets, send him your wool blankets, and he, you know, I guess he wants certain measurements, whatnot. I don't have time for all that kind of baloney. I got to just look at a chart and say, this is what I want, make it. You know, I don't have time to go out and buy extra wool blankets to send or any of that stuff. I just don't have time for that. So, but if you have the time and so on, I believe that this fellow, his name is Kevin, and I believe that he is the one that actually made the first Boreal anorak that is very popular today. I'm pretty sure he made that initial design, and everybody else copied it. I'm pretty sure. Not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure. This guy here in Canada, he claims that he thought it up. But I'm not going to get into that. Those people could fight amongst themselves. I'm not interested in getting into that. Okay. Now, in Germany, they got the company Petromax. They have one, it's a 21 ounce wool anorak. So basically this Petromax one, they got it from another small outfit, right? So there was some small outfit, I can't remember what they had a funny little name, and they probably offered some money for it, and they took it off from there, because that's what a lot of large companies do. Is a small company will like come up with something, then a large company will offer some money to have the exclusive rights to it, and then they take it over. So they make something that looks just like the Boreal Mountain and the Empire Wool. It's just a little bit different, but it looks the same, right? And then Bean came out with one a year or two ago. It's 70% wool, and it has a button neck. Okay, popper, buttons, poppers. Okay, poppers, right? Snaps. That's what they've got that goes up in the neck area. This is a fairly reasonable. I think $289 is what they want for it. And of course, Filson has one now, but the Filson one looks a bit thin. I mean, well, all these are a bit thin, if you know, to be honest with you, but they're an outer layer. This is what we got to remember, because these anoraks are not a standalone item. It is an outer layer that goes over your knits. Okay, your mid layer is what really keeps you toasty, and then the outer layer protects the knits from heat being robbed from wind and so on. Okay, that's what an anorak and a heavy wool coat, that's what those are for, with the Mackinaw wool and your anorak. These are all Melton these are all Milton wool. So, yeah, that's your outer layer. Your inner layers, your mid layers, your knits, like I talked about, right? So this one's 70%. Petromax, I believe, is 100% wool. Empire wool is whatever you send them. You know, whatever percentage of wool your blankets are that you send them. Boreal Mountain is 95% plus, depending on which one you get. And the Miklegard is at 80% wool. Like I said, 70% is my bare minimum that I recommend. I'm going to take a slug of coffee now. Alright, so we talked about socks a little bit. We talked about underwear, obviously. We talked about coats, and we've talked about anoraks. Okay, on wool trousers, I told you what I'm wearing right now. I've thought about getting another set of wool trousers just to have two pairs, but they're pretty expensive, right? So trousers I would recommend looking at would be like vintage Woolrich, vintage Filson. I've heard that the modern Filsons are a bit light. Okay, some people have found them to be a bit light on the weight, and also that maybe the sewing is not quite there on their trousers or modern trousers, but I have not seen those. That's just stuff that I have seen other people talk about who own those, right? Big Bill is a Canadian company. They're modern. They have overalls, okay, bib overalls, and they have trousers. So there is 100% wool, I believe, and 28 ounce. The reason why I've not considered Big Bill is because they're black, and I prefer not to have any kind of black colored garb going out, you know, hunting or whatnot. It just stands out too much. But if you're going to use it for workwear, it doesn't matter. It's 28 ounce. And a Big Bill I've known about for a few years, but I just never went with them. This was actually a company that was recommended. I asked for links the other day if anybody had anything that they'd like to offer up, and a fellow from Canada recommended Big Bill amongst some other stuff. Running out of time again. Miklegard's making some very nice trousers. Again, those are probably going to be 80% wool, like their anoraks. So I have no problem with that. I'm sure that they are high quality. I've only got about a minute left, so I'm going to go ahead and wrap up this list with the gloves and mittens. Any kind of a wool glove, okay, a knit wool glove with an outer mitt, okay, or outer glove is going to be good, right? Now I use U.S. military mitts, the flyer mitts with wool mitts on the inside, and I use the 3-finger mutant mitts that they have, also with wool on the inside. And then my other recommendation is Hestra out of Norway. I believe they're out of Norway, right? Hestra's got good gloves. I recommend those. I think that's it, guys. Oh, and head and face, I always wear a wool watch cap, 100% wool. My balaclava, I've got Bringy of Norway, I've got balaclava, and then I recommend for super cold weather, Cold Avenger mask, which goes over and protects your lungs. Alright, guys. catch you later.